Today, Rinpoche gave an ancillary discussion of the fixed order of the perfections and began the explanation of the perfection of generosity.
Okay.
Sumja Druju. Okay. Sumja Druju. 360. Okay.
Shala so wole o delhe ba. Shala kuringa bala sun ji rimba nes.
Okay, I'll just let everybody know exactly where we are in one moment. And welcome everyone to the Chenrezig Tibetan Buddhist Center, anyone who's new. Thank you for coming. This is Khensur Geshe Wandak, retired abbot of Namgyal Monastery, His Holiness the Dalai Lama's monastery. So thank you for coming and welcome. 360. Okay. Then okay. Okay, then Lessa. Lesso. Lesso. So the way that this text is outlined in this particular section is that first there's an explanation of Lord Maitreya's Mahayana Sutra Alamkara and how it relates to the fixed number of the 6 perfections. And then the second part deals with Haribhadra's explanation of the fixed number of the 6 perfections. So once again, we're looking at Lama Tsongkhapa's great treatise on the stages of the path to enlightenment, specifically the section on training the mind in the stages of the path for beings of great capacity, and then specifically within that section under a major heading of how all precepts are included within the 6 perfections. But this particular section deals with the actual fixed number of perfections and why there are specifically this many perfections. And then it deals with it according to the Mahayana Sutra Alamkara and the Haribhadra text, so Maitreya and Haribhadra texts. Okay, dig so Rinpoche. Then kabiyare den the sumba jipa kagi.
Tad shala koringa badlo otere doa sonja jujure son ule tinye badre. Nyeba shala koringa bala son les. Nyeba shala koringa bala son le. Ji rinba su tangpa che, longshue la matashi machabi, rinba yue na, sujin lempa she las. Wotan malhedi marbe.
Okay, so 362, so that would be 361's beginning. So I believe it's the fixed number of perfections based on perfecting the complete fulfillment of Rinpoche, the Sumja Drupju, the Ngatsu Yanjer Surana?
Pei Sumja Drupju re son re. Wole tinye ba. Nyeba shala kuninga ba nes tatal.
Nipa sha.
Nyeba shala kuninga ba la son les. Onzogu sakadu de.
Nipa sha kuninga ba. Sometimes.
Anga nued vene jitere.
Then Niki Randan Shengi Dun. Randan Shengi Dungi. Ditsar. Techen Tamche Dupa Dra Longshu Nyepa. I don't see it. I just read the whole page. That's 360. 360? Oh, 363. I see. Drew some. Okay, so that makes sense. We're on page, okay, so an ancillary discussion. So page 111 in the English. We'll find that there are 3 categories. It's called an ancillary discussion of the fixed order of the perfections. Wait 1 second, I just want to make sure. Yeah. The order of arising, the order in terms of inferior or superior, and the order in terms of coarse and subtle. Okay. Dixon.
Niba shala sajil tando, niba shala koringa bala song. Ji rinba song cho sana ji rinba dambuji.
Lessa.
Shindu de ji rinba. Hama la tene shama chigres. Ji rinba dambuji. Niba menchu rinba. Anti nane yaga na men ta chu. Teme de tijin se den rab marbe. Shindu nane.
They Teichen Teme?
Tijin da teme la goro chidana.
Okay.
Tatane shindu nalu le ya menba ta chu tende jayo res. Menchu rinba shindu sisu perpachun.
Lesso.
Menchu rinba yor niba je.
Lesso.
Somba de la racha rinba. Chawa da rabi rinba. O song rindu wa. Racha rinba aje. Ta tombo o de racha rinba song de rindu wa.
Lesso.
Song de je ta tombo. Ji rinba de marbe. Tombo ji rinba de.
Lesso.
Tombo ji rinba de o
So do.
de. Ji rinba nes. Ne longshe la matashin machabi rinba yue nas. Ne shindu na ne tombo de rinba marbe. Rinba de jure es. Tene chutin den rebu res. Rinba chutin. Rinba jo chutin rebu res. Rinba de jo chutin rebu yim jusen karesana longshe la machabi rinba de longshe la machaba. Longshe la machaba la tene yungo ro da.
Lesso.
Le longshe la su de la machabi ne rinba de yo na tene chutin yungo res. Chutin lemba shelas. Chutin lemba shela. Tene shindu ji rinba de marbe. Chutin lemba shela longshe leba dombe longshe leba dombe nyeshue yinba nyeshue leba dombe lue ji nyeba nga ge nyeba yi ji nyeba dombe chutin diyo na chutin dang den nas ne lue ji nyeba nga ge nyeba dombe chutin dang denba yina neba la zoba njoro sa tene zoba yungres
Lesso.
ne shimba chutin zoba rwa
Lesso.
ne chutin jo zoba den jebres
Lesso.
zoba njoro kaji la maju zoba yonas kaji la maju zoba yona tene dubi chen nyo yu ten zundu yungres shimba chutin zoba zundu marwe zundu ta kande shindu ngama jori shima res wadi shedu duwa
Lesso.
kaji lama ju zoba yona tele dubi jen nyo yus zoba yona tele dubi jen nyo yu zundu zangtu res zundu zombar nyo so nyenchen tu zundu zona sengi meba la kuwa la leso ronyu tengen de jiwo sa. Nisen tu zendu kare ina gawa kare zendu zon gomba ina. Tenen tengen de juel jiwo re se da tengen de juel ji la gomba ina da, shanchu sen gomba ina da, toni gomba ina, zendu mena, anu ko chega maro, zendu diyoba ina, anu hode tengen de juel jiwo re se, tengen de jiwo. Nyaba ja na yang, nyaba ja na, yang tabi tawa je tawa jin tuban jungos.
Sadu.
Shene, sen tembe je ne, toni dang, shanchu ke sen dang, 하공발로서 둘 냐바자나 네 제다 네 센템바 센냐바자나 양다바 제다와지 또바 용어스 싫어 용어스
Lesso.
어떻게 지리 마드레도 다 간데 신도도 하만 줄에 심마심만 되버스 사드 신을 집어나지 네 추티디 짐발이 집어래 네 짐바 추티 조바데 추티를 집어래 하만 주지 심마심만 되버스 송대사래
Lesso. Okay, so once again, we're on page 111, and the main heading is an ancillary discussion of the fixed order of the perfections, and there are three categories: the order of arising, the order in terms of inferior and superior, the order in terms of coarse and subtle. And the order in terms of inferior and superior, when you look at the wording, the Tibetan wording, it's the wording that usually refers to lesser vehicle and great vehicle. So this is related to the order related in terms of the lesser, and then the related in terms of the greater. So we're speaking in terms of Hinayana and Mahayana when we're using these words inferior and superior, or lesser and greater. The translation, though, is it really is correct. There's an idea of lower and higher, lesser, greater, inferior, superior. And as a translator's note, that's just in terms of the view itself is a superior, a higher view, because it relates to self and others. Just not self. And then the order in terms of coarse and subtle. So the order of arising, when you have, generosity and all of the other perfections are not only causes, but they're results. So when we look at the six perfections, they have a cause and effect relationship with one another. So this particular section points out the order of arising based on cause and effect. When you have a generosity that is disinterested in and unattached to resources, you take up ethical discipline. So once you engage in generosity, if the basis of that generosity is just an unattachment to your resources, an unattachment to your body, for instance, making it work, do things, not being attached to various things, causes you to take up ethical discipline. So it shows how generosity becomes this foundation for ethical discipline to arise. Just like a tree grows out of the earth, likewise, generosity grows ethical discipline, or ethical discipline grows out of generosity. And so the next is when you have an ethical discipline which restrains you from wrongdoing. So how do we engage in wrongdoing? One engages in wrongdoing through body, speech, and mind. So here this restraint is restraint of the three doors, or the three ways in which we create karma through our body, speech, and mind. So restraint in terms of non-virtue, so keeping ourselves from non-virtue. So if we're doing that and we have this ethical discipline that restrains, then you become patient with those who harm you. So this becomes then the basis for the next of the six perfections, which is patience. So ethical discipline becomes then the basis for patience. When you have the patience wherein you do not become dispirited with hardships, the conditions for rejecting virtue are few, so you are able to persevere joyously. So here we see patience being the cause for joyous perseverance, the fourth perfection. Then the next perfection, meditative concentration. Once you joyously persevere day and night, you will produce the meditative concentration that facilitates the application of your attention to virtuous objects of meditation. So if you day and night engage in practice, you will be able to, at any time, you can read that in two ways, but you'll be able to at any time, if you practice rigorously, if you have joyous perseverance, you'll be able to at any time direct your mind to any virtuous object that you wish and hold it there. So this is the result of meditative concentration or concentration, the fifth of the six perfections that is arisen from joyous perseverance. And then the sixth perfection is wisdom. And it says, when your mind is in meditative equipoise, you will know reality exactly. So knowing reality exactly is referring to wisdom, having the wisdom that understands all of reality. All of these are causes and results, and this is another supporting evidence for the reason for six perfections, the reason that there's a definite number of six, because it shows the cause and effect relationship. The Rinpoche, the Jimba Ju Gare, Jimbi Ju.
Jimbi Ju.
Jimba Tsuchimi Ju, the Jimbi Ju Gare.
Jimbi Ju, then that Longshol Machaba to the Longshol Chaba Yuna Jimba Tangamaro.
Le. Yeah.
Longshol Chaba Man.
I was just asking Rinpoche what then is the cause of generosity, which is the first perfection, and it is this disinterest, this lack of attachment that you create, almost a desire to emerge, but not that word exactly, like for renunciation. But it's you develop this lack of attachment that then creates fertile ground for generosity to be produced.
Jimba de shooting jures, shooting Zobak jures, Zoba de Jundu the Sandin jures, Sandin Shirok jo, what the song, Hamama jo, Shaman David song.
So we see that the way that these relate to one another are that there were previous causes that were created, and then later results that occur from these previous causes. Meaning, when I say previous, Rinpoche is saying before, literally, Rinpoche is saying, and we're speaking in terms of lifetimes. So before, these causes that are created are many lifetimes before. And so that's the framework that we're working in when we say before. All of these arise from one another. So generosity gives rise to ethics. Ethics gives rise to patience. Patience gives rise to perseverance. Perseverance gives rise to concentration. Concentration gives rise to wisdom. So these are how the six perfections relate to one another from a cause and effect standpoint. So, at the major monasteries at Drepung, Sera, and Ganden, and Tashi Lumpo, all these great monasteries debate exactly what we're speaking of. What is the cause of ethical discipline? Is generosity the cause of ethical discipline? How so? Posit the reason that it's the cause of it. So these are the things that monks and nuns debate in the major monasteries, debating why is that? How many are there? Why does this cause that? Etc.
Jimmy Jukaris, what the Tibaina, Chenrezig to Kibara, what the Songa.
So we as Buddhists state that these six perfections arise from a previous cause, from before, Rinpoche is saying, from a previous cause. So we say that a previous cause then gives rise to a previous cause of generosity gives rise to perfection of ethics. A previous cause of ethics gives rise to a future patience, etc. So this is what we as Buddhists state. What would a scientist say if we were to ask this question? How does this or that perfection arise? What is the cause of the perfection of of ethics, for instance, or generosity? What would a scientist say? Scientists are great scholars. It would be interesting to ask these questions of them. There are many questions to ask the scientific community.
That Shindu the Chi but what the Rose Chim Rose what the name Gachaje, that Chumek Chabatare, Chumek Jaba. Shindu no Chu down member of the Chaba waters. Nearby Chumek Rimbanes, Chumek Rimbane, Hama Mela, Shama Chu goes, and Jimba the Mabare, Chutin Chure, Chutin Mabare, Zoba Chure, Zoba Mabare, Tundu Chure, Tundu Mabare, and Sante Chure, Sante Mabare, Shiro Chures. What did Nibat
Ale, the Rimbo, the Teme Techen, the Rimbo Tsanlodang Yomari. Ale, Ale, Dropo, Yene, the Dunda Yomari. Ale. Okay.
Chumeka Rimbanes, that was the Jimba de Hama Melas, Hama Mes on du Shindugan Tambu de Jimba Marbe. Jimba Mebare, Chudin Chures, Chudin de Mebare, Zoba Chures.
I see.
Zoba Mebare, Tundu Chure, Tundu Mebare, Sanden Chure, Sanden Mebare, Shiro Chures, Chumek about the Legdoa.
So now that what we just went over was the order of arising. So the cause and effect, how they arise, how these perfections are generated. The next is the order in terms of inferior and superior. And so Rinpoche was just looking at the words again and reiterating that those words are generally the ones that are related to lesser vehicle and greater vehicle. But when you read here, it explains that it's using those words to show that the perfection that arises, the arising perfection is superior to the causal perfection that gave rise to it. So it's saying that the prior perfection is inferior to the resultant perfection. That's not, resultant perfection is a whole nother category, so I'm just using that as a name. I don't mean that in terms of what it means philosophically usually. But here it's saying that the previous generosity is inferior to the future ethics that it creates. So the ethics that are created from the generosity are superior to that generosity in terms of, just in terms of. Then Garishene, the why? I'm just trying to inferior to what? The Lam, the Rinpoche, not true. Manchugi Rimba. Then the
Shindu says for the version of the Manchugi Rimba you are is. Manchugi Rimba Kandas Jaguares, Hama Mebares, Yeba Mebare, Chudin Chure, Chudin Mebare. Zoba Chure, Zoba Mebare, Tundu Chure, Tundu Mebare, Santen Chure, Sante Mebare, Shiro Churis, Chumen
Then it Rinpoche, the Me Chu, the Shanchuki Ju, the Gari, the Shanchu Guna?
Shindu Yodro, Shindu de Nanghama Mebare, Shama Churis, and Jimba Mebare, Chutin Churis.
Then Garishene, the Chu, the Shanchu Giju Chembo?
You said they do it. You say, and Majuki Rimbane, Hama Mela, Shama Chugos, Chugo, Tarak Rimbane, Hamana, Shamana Le Yuba, Rala,
This Sumba.
Shamana, Hamana Le, Yubatan, Shawakai,
Ale.
Ranaki, Hamale, Rabat. Do the jail, Taka,
Ale.
Hamala, then Shamachi, Rimbaji,
Less.
Hamala, the Shamachi, Rimbaji, Metas and Machu Rimbaji, the Machu, Meta Chuto, Neshatans, and Meta Chuto Neshatan, Ratan, Rabatan, Treasure, Tarak Rimba Marvel.
Less a Sumba. Seldu. Then Niba Seldu.
Mother, the Oshamon do the gentle.
Lesso.
Do the jail songs up there, or the jail was in the town on Dua.
Lesso. Tuchena.
Kale.
So the second category, just going back, that's where we were. Inferior and superior. I asked Rinpoche in terms of what? Superior to what? For what? And it's in terms of the goal of enlightenment. So that's the absolute perfection is Buddhahood. So it's basically closer to that because you end up at wisdom is the sixth perfection. So that's, I asked Rinpoche what was it in reference to, and then it goes on to explain why in this next part. Rinpoche pointed out in the coarse and subtle part, it relates to this inferior and superior as well. So the order in terms of inferior and superior, each preceding perfection is inferior to the superior one that follows it. So the previous, the before, it even in the Tibetan, I'm looking at it, it says before. The before perfection is inferior to the future perfection that is created. So the future perfection that comes out of the before perfection is superior to it, the before perfection. So it says the order in terms of coarse and subtle, that's the third category. Each preceding perfection is easier than the subsequent one to engage in and perform, so it is coarser than the subsequent one. Each subsequent perfection is more difficult than the preceding one to engage in and perform, so it is more subtle than the preceding one. The ornament for the Mahayana Sutra says, because the subsequent perfections arise contingent on the preceding ones, because they are ranked as inferior and superior, and because of their coarseness and subtlety, the perfections are taught in order. So here it's pointing out all of these mentioned, order of arising, order in terms of inferior and superior, and order in terms of coarse and subtle. So we find the summary of these points that are made, or the source for these points, in the Mahayana Sutra Alamkara by Lord Maitreya, ornament for the Mahayana Sutras. But specifically dealing with order in terms of coarse and subtle, because it's in terms of the ease of practice. So it says that the preceding perfection is easier than the subsequent one to engage in, so it is coarser than the subsequent one. So as a note, the goal is to first get rid of the coarse, and then get rid of the subtle, and then get rid of the very subtle things, and then you become a Buddha. So it's saying that you're moving more towards subtle. You're getting some more and more subtle as these perfections arise from the prior, before perfections, and I wonder if they're called perfections at that point, even when they're in their causal state. So that's something to think about if it's perfect. So anyway, that Mahayana Sutra Alamkara summarizes why and supports J. Rinpoche's order. Decent. Less. Less. Less so. Less so. Less so. Less so. Less so.
Hamana mela shema chures nijemba mebare chudin chure chudin mebare nzoba chures wadan jawures meda chudo neshitans rabatan tsaise ne charagre badu wate imare ta charagre bade ne
Leilabalu.
What the letter do?
The Rapa Leilash.
Charagre bane.
Tramo Kalikabalu.
Hamana la Jubatan. Hamana Shamana le Jubatan Shalhayu Ralas Jimba the Rabare and the Chuti de Towers. Jimbanya Lenja Lilabore, Chuti de Kabure, Kabin is a Rabajabares, and Chuti Nalenja de Lilabore, then Zoba de Kagure, Taras or what the Jaguars, Sondua, Hamana, Shindu Sis Pervasion, Hamanam, Shamanale, Jubatan, Shalhayu, Ralas, Hamangama the Rabare, Shama Towers.
Less so.
And
Still do.
Zalaza.
Still do, Rinpoche. Okay.
Tower this. And then Tower then do the gen. Tower the one do the gen.
The dancer. Ngamala Denjima J.
Yeah. Mamala de Shama Ji, but J.
Less so.
Then Mamala de Shama Ji,
Less so.
Jimba Ji, Shidu, Hamangama then Shama Jigres.
Less so.
Jimba, Hamala de Shama J. Jimba J. Madam Chudans.
Less so.
Hamangama member Shama Chudres.
Less so.
Madam Chud Nation Dance.
Less so.
Rabatan the treasure. Hamangama Yanaja de Lelabre, Shaman Kawai, Hamangama Rabare, Shama Towers,
Lesser.
Tada Rimba Temba in Shesos,
Lesser.
do the gentle.
Lesser.
What the later?
So the ornament for the Mahayana Sutras breaks down the same thing that Lama Tsongkhapa does. Let me start that over. So the ornament for the Mahayana Sutras has in a condensed form the same points that are made by Lama Tsongkhapa here, and this becomes Lama Tsongkhapa's source for the information. So it says, because the subsequent perfections arise contingent on the preceding ones. So here this is the order of arising. We're saying that the ethics is arisen from the cause of which is generosity, and patience arises from ethics, and effort arises from patience, and concentration comes out of effort or perseverance, and wisdom comes from concentration. So this is the first point, that Lama Tsongkhapa went over, and it's under the order of arising. Then the next line, because they are ranked as inferior and superior. This is the order in terms of inferior and superior, showing how each perfection, the before perfection that creates the future perfection, is inferior to the superior future perfection. So this is the point that's made, that it becomes more and more superior, and then that becomes a cause. Then that becomes a cause for a superior result, and that becomes inferior, which was superior before to what it was previous. So that is the second category, the order in terms of inferior and superior. And then the third category, and because of their coarseness and subtlety. So this is the order in terms of coarse and subtle, showing that the prior perfection is easier than the future perfection to perform. So therefore, the prior is the causal perfection is a there we go. I shouldn't use those words. The perfection that causes whatever perfection it produces is more coarse than what it produces. So what is produced becomes more subtle than what caused it in terms of the perfections. So that is the third category, the order in terms of coarse and subtle. And then it says the perfections are taught in order. So it's showing that, again, going back to the main point, that they're fixed order of the perfections. So there's the fixed number and then the fixed order. So this ancillary discussion that we're having here is the fixed order, because we've gone over already the fixed number. And this is ancillary to that, which is the order, which helps support the number as the fixed number. The fixed order helps support the fixed number, but that's why it is an ancillary discussion, though, because it's not the exact topic of fixed number. So it becomes a secondary. Digsung Rinpoche.
Da somba dala lobe jenba nyishi bas somba.
Ni.
Somba dala lobe jenba nyi.
Okay.
Lobe jenba la nyis. Somba dala lobe jenba la nyi. Sheba chela lo chu tambo je.
Less.
Cheba do pajin tamanye la lobe chus.
Less.
Sheba chela lo chu da shinro lo chu den jirwa. Cheba do pajin tamanye la lo chu da den ma. Shene da la tong de le umar la tong. Lamrim la tong cheba zo te saje de le on re.
Less.
Somba dala lobe jenba la nyi. Cheba chela lo chu dan. Cheba do pajin tamanye la lobe chus. Ta cheba chela lo chu tambo la nyi. Rangi ju meba sheba pajin dan se ranju meje pajin tu. Rangi ju meba she meje pajin tu la lobe chu dan. Yen ju meje duwa je la ba os. Ta rang ju meje de jenba chutin zoba chundu santen shero. Wote je ten bare ranju meje res. Rangi senju de zamba zoya. Putabu zoya. Ranju meje pajin dan. Yen ju meba sheba de kargo orisana duwa je la lobas. Duwa je la lobas.
Less.
Wote re duwa.
Less.
Jenba jen heba mawa tuen sheba. Tuen tuen ba jeta marbe.
Less.
Wote ulu mahlegar wata.
Ni lagu. Injikela.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so now we're on page 113, I think, 11, 12, 13, and into 14. And it's a new chapter, chapter 9 in the English. The perfection of generosity, the process of learning the perfections. And so this is the third category. We're following the major headings. So the process of learning the perfections has two categories. how to train in the Bodhisattva deeds in general, and in particular how to train in the last two perfections. So the last two perfections and the explanation of them we find in what's called the Great Special Insight section, Platun Chenmo, the Great Special Insight section. And it's actually just part of Lama Tsongkhapa's great treatise on the stage of the path to enlightenment, the third volume in English. It's all in one book in Tibetan, so there's not volumes. And there aren't chapters really broken down in the way that this is either. And it's in the English, how we have a chapter 9, they're not broken down in that same way, unless I'm mistaken. So just as a note. So the process of learning the perfections, and then how to train in the Bodhisattva deeds in general is the first category, and then there's two categories. Training in the perfections that mature the qualities you will have when you become a Buddha, and then training in the 4 ways to gather disciples that help others to mature. So that's where we are, and we will just go from there. Okay, Diksan.
Sumba dalla lobi rimbani sheba la niji, choba chela lobi ji tomaji, choba to pashin tamani la lobi, choba ji jimba tsutin zoba zundu santen shela lobi dinjiro, ne choba to pashin tamani la lobi santen de shela ni de lobi lo de onma latung leongro la, wo de chadu lani, wo de han de mo chan marbe. Lozulo Tombala Nis and Jobachilla Lobitude Nis Nijagur, Nichosana, Rangi Ju Meji Pashinto, Jimba Sutin Zobatundu Sunday, Shero Drobit, the Rangi Ju Meji res, Ranju Pudabuzoya, Pashinto the res, Shanju to the Saint Jane, Ranju Meji Pashinto Lagure, Jen Ju Meji, Doajil Lagures. Jenju meje doa jela laba os doa jede jemba tenshoba tentuba ane heba ma wote jede marbe ulma leon ta sibiode jenju ju mebe jeba doa jela laba os ta ranju meje phaji to laba de tambula truth jemba chutin zoba tendu santen shero.
Okay, so going back again, just to read over, the process of learning the perfections is category number 3. How to train in the Bodhisattva deeds in general is the first category, and the second category is specifically how to train in the last 2 perfections. So the perfections are the perfection of generosity, perfection of ethics, the perfection of patience, the perfection of effort or perseverance, the perfection of concentration, and the perfection of wisdom. So those last 2, the perfection of concentration and perfection of wisdom, are dealt with in a specific way in this category number 2. So the first category deals with general, and just as a translator's note, there's a big emphasis on generals and specifics, and major like books, generals and specifics written. So these are categories. General is mainly the overview, and then specific would be the details. So car is general, specific blue car. This doesn't how that works. So that's a large topic that's detailed. So if you look at in general, the Bodhisattva deeds include obviously the last 2 perfections. So the second category is saying we're taking the last 2 perfections that we're just going over even in the general scope and looking at them in a specific way, in a detailed way. So just as a note, I just wanted to make sure that was clear because it doesn't really read that way. Read that way. So how to train in the Bodhisattva deeds in general. So this is the overview way of looking at it. Training the perfections that mature the qualities you will have when you become a Buddha. And then second, training in the 4 ways to gather disciples that help others to mature. So self and the maturation of others in terms of, and the maturation is to Buddhahood. So what maturing to the point of complete Buddhahood and maturing others to the point of Buddhahood. Okay. Decent Rinpoche.
Oje data no ote desa duata. Soma dala lobe bala ni is cheba jila loju de cheba de phajin tamani la lobe chulos. Tombala ni rangi ju meje phajin tu la ya sis parversion. Jen ju meje doa jira lobos. Ta tombala tu rangi meje phajin tu la lobe chu de la tu robata. Jeba chu de zoba. Chondu santen shero lobi chulos tabati ta tombe jimba lobi chudela jere doje jimbi gonje tejeba la jubi tauji nibaje jimbi rodu yo sombaje tada do jere do ya college la
kanga yure
ya
the denden kejor. So, training the perfections that mature the qualities you will have when you become a Buddha. So, this is the first category under that heading of how to train the Bodhisattva deeds in general. And there will be 6 categories. So the 6 categories are just the 6 perfections, basically. It's listing them. How to train in the perfection of generosity, how to train in the perfection of ethical discipline, how to train in the perfection of patience, how to train in the perfection of joyous perseverance, how to train in, the perfection of meditative stabilization, and how to train in the perfection of wisdom. And then the first category, generosity, how to train in generosity. There are 4 parts to how to train in generosity. What generosity is, how to begin the development of generosity, the divisions of generosity, and a summary. So basically, the definition of generosity, how you begin, how you start to become generous, the various divisions, and then a summary of everything that's been included within that. So those will be the 4 categories, beginning with the definition of generosity, or what generosity is. Let me see how it says here. Jim.
Raju meji pashin to jimba chudun zoba chunde sande shiro to the redwa shiro to the ta tombo jimbi ngon le omar be jimba jimbi ngon je te jibi tauji jimba jibi tauji jimbi rodu yo wa sombaji dada ko ton do jere do jimbi ngon la sajeje sajeje na sajeje jimbi ngon se da kan te jimbi chenyi na ba marbe jimbi chenyi shuosna jimbi ngon shuosna dab marbe te jibi tausu de jimba de ma tashi karche gures ane te jiba la jubi tauji jimba la ena kaze yo ares rotu yo wa anta su de na ma dune somba jere doje what to college
listen okay, so then we begin with what generosity is. And I just went back and looked at the Tibetan, and the Tibetan reads that the explanation of the practice of generosity, ethical discipline, patience, joyous perseverance, meditative stabilization, and wisdom. That's what where these 6 categories are, that's all it says. It says there are 6, the explanation of, and then it just lists 6 perfections. And then how to train in generosity. So what generosity is. So what is the definition of generosity? So here it says the Bodhisattva levels says, so this is a text by Master Asanga, what is the nature of generosity? Sometimes the nature is used instead of definition. So what is the definition of generosity? What is the nature of generosity? Is the intention accompanying bodhisattvas disinterested in non-attachment to all their possessions in their body, and motivated by this, the physical and verbal actions of giving and things to be given. So that's the technical definition of generosity. And so this would, Rinpoche say, be an acceptable definition. So when we look at any topic, we say, okay, what is the definition of this topic? How many divisions of this topic are there? What are the definitions of those divisions? So here we begin that process of seeing what the divisions of generosity are, and so forth. So we see there are. So anyway, that's it. Decent.
That Tambu Jibi Ngond shows and Tambu ne Shansa les, Shanju Semis, Lama Papa to Marva.
Less
Lama Papa to Marga Sadanga, no Nani, or the Sadanga Shansa Tinyasas, Shansa, Shanju Semis Hale, but Shanju Semis Hale, Jibi Ngond Ganshenas, Lama Papa to Margo, the Jimmy Ngond Gajagore, Jimmy Tenya Gajagores,
lesser.
Jimmy Ngond Ganshena. Ne yuji tangje tang rangi lula mata yu shanju sembe macha batang lu longshe macha batang lenji jebi semba deres semba de ne jimbi gong res semba de semba kanyin ba de semba kanyin ba dans semba kanyin ba dang semba de kun jimbi kun la yu ne löge le da ngage le la yu jinba sha yu ngabu yon so ton yu le dan ngage le dan she son ba ta ros wo da jinbi ngo sho sa jinbi ngo ne jinbi ngo sho sa na ne jene me shansa les tamro jinbi ngo ka she na Jibi Tsenyi Kanshe na se Rabu Marbe.
Lesser.
Jibi Ngo Kanshe na. Yuji Tanji Tang Rangi Lula ya Mata. Yuji Tanji Tang Rangi Lula ya Mata yu. Ane Tanda de Shanchu Senbi Yuli Jadu Gurwa. Shanchu Senbi Macha Batang. Senjibi. Senju Macha Batang Tsomba Denbi. Senba Ganyama. Senba Deres. Senba. Senba Yiji Leyi no Senba. Senju Tsoa Nushi Senba Zayad Marwa. Kundu Ganga non Tsoa Nushi Senba Zayadwa. Somba Senju Somba Deredo Somba. Jimba to Soba Debe, Jimba Somba Deba Segurabata, Senju Senba Dijagura, Jimbi Gon, Senju Senba. Semba Kanyin Ba Tang, De Gunan La Yu, Semba De Gunan La Yu, Jimba Sha Yu, Ngabu Yon Su Tong Yu, Lue Ji Le Dang, Nga Ge Le Dang, She Song Ba Ta Ros, Shansa Lo De Song Do Si Jen Ma Ji, Shansa Lo Song Ba Ta De Res, De Na Ji Ja Gu Res.
So, the Bodhisattva level says, what is the nature of generosity? What is the definition of generosity? It is the intention accompanying Bodhisattva's disinterested non-attachment to all their possessions in their body, and motivated by this, the physical and verbal actions of giving the things to be given. So here it says it is the intention. So intention is the third among the 5 omnipresent mental factors. So this is one among those mental factors that is always there. Feeling, discrimination, intention, contact, and mental engagement are the 5 omnipresent mental factors. And this is that third one. And it's saying the intention that the Bodhisattva has is disinterested non-attachment to all their possessions. So as a translator's note, it doesn't say being an ascetic. It's just saying that the relationship to the things you have isn't attached. It's not saying that you don't have things. So it's not inferred within this. It's just saying that they don't have the weight that they normally would. They don't have. level of interest isn't there. So bodhisattva's disinterested non-attachment to all their possessions in their body and motivated by this, the physical and verbal actions of giving the things to be given. Here the motivation is to aid and to give, and the motivation is to give to someone something. That then also has accompanying omnipresent mental factor of intention. And then it says accompanying the bodhisattva's disinterested non-attachment to all their possessions in their body and motivated by this physical and verbal actions of giving the things to be given. Okay. So Rinpoche read it a few times, so I just wanted to replicate that. Less so.
And then the Pombo Kazilio
19 chapters. Okay. Jugo. Okay, so this is a quote from the Asanga's Bodhisattva's levels. This is a text that you would find in the Tanjur, which is the authentic Indian commentaries. There's Kangjur and Tanjur. Kangjur, pronouncements of Lord Buddha. Tanjur, authentic Indian commentaries. This would fall under Tanjur. And there are 19 chapters in this text, the Bodhisattva levels, and we're not sure which chapter this quotes from, but you could find it within those 19 chapters somewhere. Digson.
Ta jimbi ngo ne shansa les jimbi ngo kanshe na yuji tangje da rang ge le la ma ta yi shangju senbi ma sha ba da len ji bi senba kan yin ba de senju senba le ja wo res senba kan yin ba da de gun la yu jimba sha yu ngo bu yong su do yu le da nga ge le what the samba jimba is in the dides shesumba tar te ton yu semba kwa da te kun na yu le nga ge les os jerma jama du je ma ba ton yu semba ta le ton yu semba long che ton yu semba yo ton yu semba da semba gwa da te kun na yu Samba Gawati Kun na yu Lujile da nga le tu le Jimbala res leso Tala Jimbala jubi Pashin Zuba Jimbi Pashin Zuba la ne Jinja yu Zi Jin la Tang yu Rwa na Yuwa Boa la ma du des Jimbi Pashin Zuba la ne Jimba Tang ne Dwa kanga chobu meba zugoya tenda goya mares. Rangi tonsen tu kona dire mado kanga lo ten chobu zutuwa yo mares. Po la ma de tata mayi na tadun dwa tembo yebe nga shenpi jawa na jibi paru tu mashinpa joro sa. Jibi paru tu shimpa la dwa kanga lo Shubu Zuguba Yina, and the Sanji Mama Jimbi Vadi Shin Sabare, Tanda and Roju Momanduas, and Hama Sanji to do Jimbi Pari Mashimba Tandagres, Mashimba Joros, the Ji Mudua, the Tuba Jirawa. Somba Tena, you sent Tishana, Ludanga Mazuis, Jimba de to Ludanga Mazu. 이제부 두레스 마주이 타지 선아이 제바 존네 르롱쇼를 잡을 선아가 제바 존네 제라 삼바타바네 동신 저장도 마제 땅이 데보나자 신전라 다이 르공바 용수 조발레 지미 바르듯이 봐 조로스 Jimmy Paru Shimba Jurus. That Jimmy Tonsan to Combe and Jimmy Paru Shimba Yawurmado. Jimba Tan and then Jimmy Paru Shimba in the Gas, Sentient Gashuzuga, and the Yomares. Tata Yimba Yang, Shunjules, Kitten Draw Yoboa, Jimmy Paru Shina, Tadun return Yuenang, Juba Jetta Parushins, Duba Tan Rejede, Ne Jukula, Tansenje, Jimby Paru Shinson de Dene Senito, Shesos, Tajiba Terendo, Dena, Jimmy Pashin Yalene, Nengonsu Zetanwala, Jean la Ton Majan, Ton yu Samba Kona, Gotomane, Jejin, Jivido Ton Yenos. What the Jimmy Gon Kadu, the German Sajiro, Jan Jibitel Sajiji, Sajiji, Jimmy Gon Kanshenas, Otanama, Jimmy Gon de la, Jan Jib Sajiji, Sajiji, Jimmy Gon la Gele, Tombo Jimmy Gon, that Jimmy Gon la Sajiji Deondu, and Tombo Jimmy Gon Kanshena, Chansales, Tombo Jignan, Tombo Deres, Chansales, Jimmy Gon Kanshena, Yu Tanji the Rank Lula Matayu, Shanchu Sambi Machabas, Jimba the Shanchu Sambi Juljawuro, Machabatan, Tanjibi, Samba Kanyabatre, Jimba Des, Tuan Dushi Samba. Samba de Jawures, Kanyabatan, De Gunel Hanyu, Jimba Shay, Ngobu Yonsu, Lue Gileta, Nagale to the Jimba des, Shesumba Tatter, Tony Samba de Gawatan, De Gunel Hanyu, Lungagales was Jimby Jaji Jiganan, Tante Tambure, the Batu Tambo.
In Kabaka Rinpoche? Gonga Mebichi.
No yu Samba, Gawadan, De Gunel Hanyu, Lungagales.
Okay, so the
Jimmy Jiganan, Tambuter in Janji.
okay.
The Batu Tambure.
Okay, so Lama Tsongkhapa has this all in one section. And when we look at the difficult point, the 4 interwoven commentaries on the difficult points of the great treatise on the stage of the path to enlightenment, when we look at specifically Jayan Sheba's input on this section, he states that there are 4 categories that we can find within this. So the first category is as follows. The Bodhisattva, and it deals with nature. The Bodhisattva level says, what is the nature of generosity? It is the intention accompanying Bodhisattvas' disinterested non-attachment to all their possessions and their body, and motivated by this, the physical and verbal actions of giving the things to be given. Hence it is the virtue of a generous attitude and the physical and verbal actions which are motivated by this. So this is the first category, according to Jayan Sheba, within this, the body of what a generosity is. Decent.
Jimmy Gon la Jigana Tambo Tabatre.
That's so.
Chansale, Jimmy Gon Kanshena, and the Yuji Tanji the Ranki Lula Matayu, and Sambi Machabatan, Hejibi, Machabatan Tomba Dembe, Samba Kanyaba the Jimbares, taking the Lanyu, Jimbash, Nobu Yonsuton, Ludan Hakile to say Yagure, Shesumba Tar, Tony Samba Dan, Tony Samba Jimbi Seni, Sony Samba Tutin, Shidan and the Lord of Rota, Tony Sambas, Ludan, Tony Samba de Jimbares, Samba Gawadan, taking and high, Ludan Hakile to say Jimbares. Jimmy Gon Jiganan, Tambo or Tabatres and Janjibe.
The Seni Kabiore Rinpoche, the Jimbi Seni, the Tsuchin, the Jupulasan.
That Jimby Gon Kanshenasa, the Jimbi Seni Dong or the Marve. Jimbi Seni shows at the Daburo. Jimby Gon Kanshenas.
That's
Jimbi Ngon Kanshena, Jimbi Ngondere, Jimbi Teninderes,
That's so?
Uje Tanji the Rank Lula Matayu, Shanju Sembi Machaba dance,
Less so.
Shanju Sembi Juju, Shanju Machaba dan, Tumba de Benjero, Hanjibi, Samba Kanyabate, Jimbares,
Less so.
that's Segamazi, Kunan Hayu, ne Jimba Shayu, Ngobala Yonsu Tonyu, Luti Ledan Agile to the res. Ledan, Shesomba Tar, Tony Samba Gawatan, Tony Samba Gawat, Jimmy Gores, Tony Samba Gawat, Jimmy Tenish Wasana, what the Jada Marbe,
Less so.
Tony Samba Gawa. Take when an high, Luigi Ledan Agile, Jimbatan du Ludan, and then Ganki and Yabashigare, and then Luigi Jimbatan Rota.
Less so.
Ledan Agile sauce, one Jignan Jajibo, what it Tambutre.
So, according to Jayan Sheba, he states that this first section is the first among the four categories that it breaks down to. What is the Bodhisattva levels by Master Asanga says, what is the nature of generosity? It is the intention accompanying Bodhisattva's disinterested non-attachment to all their possessions in their body, and motivated by this, the physical and verbal actions of giving the things to be given. So there's a motivation of a omnipresent mental factor of intention that is there, which then serves as the basis for the giving. There it is. So this intention to give serves as the basis of the giving. So they're intending to give something to someone. So this serves as the basis, and let me just make sure I got everything in there. Hence, it is the virtue of generous attitude and the physical and verbal actions which are motivated by this. So that's all first category. Diksam Rinpoche.
Tanya but Jimmy Pashin Zuba says what the later. Tella Jimmy Pashin Zubanes, Jimmy Pashin Zuba, Jimmy Paru Simba. Jimmy Paru Simbas, Jimba de la Ju Paru Simba Dan, Debi Paru Simba Nijaurta. Shanju Sembi Jimba de Ju Paru Simbares. Shanju Sembi Jimba de Geshe Lharampa Sanjigarota. Ju Paru Simbares. Sanji Tuji Jimba de Debi Paru Simbares. Ju Paru Simba. Ju Paru Simba Jimba Dan, Debi Paru Simba Jimba Nijaurta. Ju Paru Simba Jimba de Shanju Sembi Jimba Je. Shanju Sembi Jimba de Sanji Kumutu Juro. Ju Paru Simbas. Sanji Tuji Jimba de Debi Paru Simbares. Debi Paru Simba.
So when we look at the perfection of wisdom, there is causal perfection of wisdom and resultant perfection of wisdom. When we speak of causal perfection of wisdom, this would be the Bodhisattva's path of the six perfections. So the causal so causal perfection. If I said perfection of wisdom, I'm sorry. I don't know if I did or not, but there's causal perfection and resultant perfection. So the causal perfection would be the Bodhisattva path, the practice of the perfections. Resultant perfection would be Buddhahood, which would be caused by the causal perfection. So this is what drives one to becoming a Buddha, the resultant perfection, the ultimate resultant perfection. And so we have all of these causal perfections that then eventually make up for this resultant perfection, which is Buddhahood. So, Diksam Rinpoche.
Jimmy Paru de Simbas, Jimmy Paru de Simbi no Carres, Paru de Simba, Jimmy Paru de Simba la, Jimba Town Senior Shubuzugu Mares, Tella, Jimmy Paru de Simba Zubanes, Jimmy Paru Simba Zubate, Jimmy Paru de Simba, Sanjik to Jimba de Ingerota. Zubane, Jela Tanyu, Ruana Ua, Poala Matudes. Sentient le temps, and the Senja Chubichi Mabazugu Mares, Chubichi Mabazubal Tugu Mares, Jimmy Paris Shimba, Nalu Lako, Jimmy sent one and Digger Matu, Combatation and Dir Matu, Jimbatan, Jendaka, Shubuzuga, and the Tugu Mares, Roajin Uapola, Matu Des, the Mahinas, Tatasita Marbe, the Mahina, Tadun return, Ubis, Tadun Senja Job Mobuduas, and then Hamas Hajimo, Jimmy Paris Shinsaburo, Candice with Jimmy Paris Shimbares, Shimbaris Shimba, Majuma Tandugres, Tata Mahina, Jimmy Paris Shimbala, and the Jimbatan Senja Shubuzugovina, and then Hamas Hajimo, Jimmy Paris Shinsabare, Tanda Senja Job Mobuduas. What the car is, Tazitan Marbe, Tata Mahina, Tadun Ruatembo Toma Yubi Chubo, Momuduas, Yubi, Nashabi Sanji Na, and the Jimmy Paris Mashiba Juros, Nashabi Sanji to Jimmy Paris Mashibata, Tanda Senji Chubu Yubi, Tazitan Marbe, Juros, what about the Niba? Jimmy Paris Zubanes, Tella, Jimmy Paris Niba Tenango, Tella, Jimmy Paris Zubane, Jela Tan Yu, Ruanaji, Uapola, Tugamares, Jimmy Paris Senji Chubu Mabas over Tenago Mares, Matute, Tata Mahina, Tadun return Ruatembo Toma Ubs. And then Hamas Haji to Jimmy Paris Machimbatal, Tanda and Roju Mobubs, and Jimmy Paris the Canadian Paris, what the does the Homer. Send to the Jimba, don't send to Kone, and Gonsona, what then did Mato, Jimbatan, Jimmy Paris the Sinan, Senji Chubu Mabazuga, and Ugo Mares. Tata Mahina, Tadun, Duatembo Tomayube, Temples Chubu Logrota. Tomayube, Hanshabi Sanji, Hanshabi Sanji Na, Jimmy Paris to Mashiba Joros. What about the neighbor? Tell us Jimmy Paris Duba Nessa, Jimmy Paris Shimba, Duba.
That's so. So the let me read this entire section. I remember Rinpoche read it and then said, let's be specific, but he read the whole section. So let me do that, and then I'll go back to where we were. So we just read the Bodhisattvas. So hence it is the virtue of a generous attitude in the physical and verbal actions which are motivated by this. Bringing the perfection of generosity to completion is not contingent on removing beings' poverty by giving gifts to others. Otherwise, since there still remain many destitute living beings, all the earlier conquerors would not have attained perfect generosity. Therefore, the physical and verbal aspects of generosity are not the main thing. The main thing is the mental aspect. This is because you perfect generosity after you destroy your stingy clinging to all of you own, your body, resources, roots of virtue, and you completely condition your mind to giving them away to living beings from the depths of your heart, and not only that, but also giving to others the effects of this giving as well. Thus, engaging in the Bodhisattva deed says, if generosity were perfected by removing beings' poverty, since beings are still destitute, how could past saviors have perfected it? Generosity is perfected, it is said, through the attitude of giving away to all beings, all your possessions, along with the effects of this. Therefore, generosity is a state of mind. Thus, the practice of perfection of generosity entails generating in various ways the intention to give and steadily increasing this generosity, even though you may not be actually giving away something to others. So that's the complete read. So Jayan Sheba says there's 4 categories within the body of that, which I already said, but I just want to make sure I do it in total. So the first category, Lama Tsongkhapa has one complete category. Jayan Sheba says that there are 4. First category, ending where it says 365 in the English. So first category, Bodhisattva level, says, what is the nature of generosity? Is the intention accompanying the Bodhisattva's disinterested non-attachment to all their possessions and their body, and motivated by this the physical and verbal actions of giving the things to be given. Hence it is the virtue of a generous attitude in the physical and verbal actions which are motivated by this. So that's the first category. Second category, bringing the perfection of generosity to completion is not contingent on removing beings' poverty by giving gifts to others. So now a debate starts to take place. This is how debate sounds in English if it's translated. Otherwise, so there's going to be a consequence to a statement that's wrong. So it's saying, bringing the perfection of generosity to completion is not contingent on removing beings' poverty by giving gifts to others. So it's saying, if it was, otherwise, since there still remain many destitute living beings, all the earlier conquerors would not have attained perfect generosity. So if you're saying that the sign of perfect generosity is that you've filled all of the needs of sentient beings, then if there are any poor beings left, that would mean that you aren't a Buddha. So it would mean, in consequence, that no one's ever become a Buddha because there's still poor beings. There are beings who are destitute still. So that's the illogical consequence to stating that the perfection of generosity requires the complete fulfillment of all of others' needs, in a sense. So that is number 2. Okay, Diksung Rinpoche. Nipa.
Da nipa tsaro, nipa tsare.
Sumba.
Da sumba tena lu da nga
Okay,
nga
yeah,
ma
that's where it
tuyis.
ends.
Sumba tena ma ne jimba tela lu je jimba ta nga ki jimba yiji jimba sung yo res. Zu de yiji jimba zu res. Tena nga da lu da nga ma tuyis. Ne sen zu res, sen zu. Ne sen zu zu joba de, sen zu joba de tar, yimi ju sen de res, de ta. Rangla dubi lu dan longshu geza tangje la seni yin zenba chung ne yen la samba taba ne tong shins sena de ka ne yen la hin taba ne zenba tongba yina tong shin de zang do ma zi tang yin zebu na jang zenba dan zebu na jang sentient la da yi zenba dan zebu tu la sentient la me ba ne san dang wo res da yu lu gongba yon su zoba le jimbi pari shima joros jimba dang ne jimbi zebu tu kanga lo ne sentient ngwa ne lu tu gongba yina ne jimbi pari shima sigres shimba joro tata ma yina tata yans tata yinba yang su song du su na shunju le shangji de o marba shunju le keten ruwa yu bo jimbi pari shin nas ruwa chubu tu pone ne jimbi pari shimba yina tadun ruten yu na ngun chuba jeta pari shins ne ruwa yu bo tsama bo ne jimbi pari shimba yina tadun ruten yu be na sanji momo sanji sari de ane tanda ruwa chubu momo duwas ruten yu na ngun shuen bi sanji tu so chuba jeta pari shimba res jeta pari shimba res duba tangji reje de chukun la tangsen je jimbi pari shin song de tene sen yin do she so wate bat somba zunda re somba.
Okay, so now we move on to number 3. Therefore, the physical and verbal aspects of generosity are not the main thing. The main thing is the mental aspect. So when we look at the two, there's physical and verbal aspects of generosity, and then there's the mental aspect of generosity, body, speech, and mind. So the strongest generosity is the mind generosity. because it's actually a mindset. You can be generous without having anything to give away whatsoever. And it's showing how that generosity is a state of mind. It's an actual motivation or an intention. It's a state of mind. Rinpoche, the Jimba, the Semjongyen? Okay, Tuchen. I was just asking. Less so? Less so. So generosity falls categorically under a mental factor. And intention is one among the 5 omnipresent mental factors: feeling, discrimination, intention, contact, and mental engagement. Going back, therefore, the physical and verbal aspects of generosity are not the main thing. The main thing, or the chief, or the root, is the mental aspect. This is because you perfect generosity after you destroy your stingy clinging to all that you own, your bodies, resources, and roots of virtue, and you completely condition your mind to giving them away to living beings from the depths of your heart. And not only that, but also giving to others the effects of this giving as well. And then, so who says this? Where is this from? And Lama Tsongkhapa quotes Shantideva's Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, or Engaging in the Bodhisattva's Deeds. It says, if generosity were perfected by removing beings' poverty, since beings are still destitute, how could past saviors have perfected it? Generosity is perfected, it is said, through the attitude of giving away to all beings all your possessions along with the effects of this. Therefore, generosity is a state of mind. So it's showing here that generosity is really a mental factor. It's a state of mind. It's an intention at its root. At its root, it's an intention. Thus, the practice of the perfection of generosity. So that is number 3. So 3 starts at therefore, the physical and verbal aspects, and ends at the end of the quote, Shantideva's quote. So again, the first of the 4 categories. First category is the Asanga's Bodhisattva levels, and then the sentence below it, which is Lama Tsongkhapa's summary. Then the next is bringing the perfection of generosity, is where it begins and ends at would not have attained perfect generosity, is number 2. And number 3 begins with therefore and ends at the end of the quote of Shantideva. Number 4 is this last paragraph, thus the practice. Diksam Rinpoche.
Tong samba go to man jejins, tong jimba tong samba go to man jejin, Congores, to man jejin, Jefit to Yeno, sa, Jefit to Yeno, what about the Jibati?
Number 4, thus the practice of the perfection of generosity entails generating in various ways the intention to give and steadily increasing this generosity, even though you may not be actually giving away something to others. So it's again emphasizing this mental state, how it can be increased, and one generosity can be perfected. So increase more and more and more and more to the point of perfection, where this motivation is always to give. It would be is always there. So this is the 4th category. Thus, the practice of the perfection of generosity entails generating in various ways the intention to give, and in steadily increasing this generosity, even though you may not be actually giving away something to others. So this intention to give, this 3rd omnipresent mental factor. Decent.
Tejebala jubi tau sa ta marba. Jimbi ngu, tejebala jubi tau. Jimbi ra tu yawa. Tadaga tuan duwa je na dambo. Jimbi ngu tala shansa le sa ta marba. O tala jaa jibi jidri ne, jid sarwa.
That's so.
Jid sarwa ta nyeba. Ane jimbi.
Good so. Disa.
Ta nyeba te marba. Jimbi ngu tejebala jubi tau. Jimbi ra tu yawa. Tuan duwa jiga na ne. Ta nyeba marba. Tejebala jubi tau os. Nyeba tejebala jubi tau ne. Lu dong long shu. Ta tena ka jimba tejebi tau kari yuwa rasa na. Lu long shu sana ma lu ba zhongba zang jis. Lu dong long shu la sana ma lu ba zhongba zang jis. Jimbi pari tishima yugu ma res. Lu dong long shu la sana ma lu ba zhongba zang jis. Jimbi pari tishima manju de. Nyetu da zhong dang. Teme da zhong tu so. Sana ma lu ba zhong sa pa res. Da zhong ba yinbe jir. Yina jimbi pari tishima yu ma res. Pari tishima manju de. Sanan dosha ji. Chatu yinbe. Teme ji da zhong ba ni ji. Nyetu da zhong dang. Raja da zhong. Ni ji jang. Sabyo na jiba ma lu ba. Pong yu shiros. De jibi tau. Di shir. Tong yu ge se. Tong yu ge se ni gun do. Nyamba samba. Sewa zang do. Ma ze. Duba tang chi jen la tong yu. Samba nyi taba ne. Che gu sos. Ote che gu sos. Ta jenba la jubi tau do te samar. Tanda san tang na. Ane jenba tang lo gabu yung go jiro ta. Jenba la jubi tau. Nyeba ne lu dong long shu sana. Lu dong long shu chabi sana se guri beta. Sana ma lu ba chungba zang ji. Jimbi pari tishimba re tu guri beta sana. Neba yu ma re. Teme da chung tu ni. Yidu da chung tu raja da chung tu sana ma lu ba chung sa te. Ku da chung ba yinbe jir.
That's so.
Jimbi pari tishimba ma re. Jimbi pari tishimba te. Nene sanjil ma tu jaya yu ma rwa.
That's so.
Jui pari tishimba shanchu shenpa li jaya gu re. Debi pari tishimba sanjil jaya gu re. Te wote time la manduwa. Sana chungpa time la yuwa res. Sana time ka pongpa yinde. Time da chungpa yinbe eshe. Da chungpa yin sana pongpa chagu res.
That's so. That completes the 4 categories, according to Jayan Sheba, and the 4 interwoven commentaries of the difficult points of the great treatise on the stage of the path to enlightenment. So what generosity is, and its 4 categories are complete. Then we begin, now we go to category number 2. So there were 4 categories on how to train in the perfection of generosity. What generosity is complete. Now how to begin the development of generosity. Simply destroying all stinginess in regard to your body and resources is not the perfection of generosity. For stinginess is included within attachment, and so even the 2 kinds of Hinayana arhats have totally eliminated it along with its seeds. What is required then is that you not only clear away stinginess as tight-fistedness, which prevents giving things away, but also that you develop from the depths of your heart the intention to give away to others all your possessions. For this you have to meditate on the faults of holding on to things and the benefits of giving them away. I shall therefore discuss these. That is the point. So it's saying that a Hinayanist, foe destroyer, no longer has stinginess. He or she has completed that, completely gotten rid of that. How do you know? Well, they're a foe destroyer. Foe is affliction, and destroyer. So they've destroyed those afflictions. but this mindset isn't the same. So it's they have gotten rid of miserliness or stinginess, but they don't have the perfection of generosity just because they don't have this attachment still. They don't have this miserliness that becomes a cause for generosity to occur, this lack of attachment, but that alone is not the perfection of generosity. So it's saying that they even though they're foe destroyers and have, it says the two kinds of Hinayana Arhats. So the hearers and solitary realizers are foe destroyers. Even though they are foe destroyers, they do not have the perfection of generosity, even though they've completely cleared away stinginess, miserliness. So the two aren't the same. If you've gotten rid of all of your stinginess, it doesn't mean you've perfected generosity. So that's the point that's made here. Okay, Rinpoche Digson. Ngatsu karma nishu yure.
Oh yeah.
Ngatsu jatomasa.
Oh, that dig karma nishu le labure. Ta jiba le ju thot terendwa le don lo shu sena ma le ba jumba zang jine jimi paru de shiba manju de ane le don lo shu la sena bomba zang jimi paru de shiba ja to mares teme da jumbe le don lo shu la chabe sena bomba yeshir und seme da jumba yimbe yeshir ane jimi paru de shiba mares
Lessa.
jimi paru de shina kanda shingur sena nende chaji chatu ba yimbe sena nende chaji chatu yimbe teme da jumba ni jang saban de chiba maluba pombe yeshir teme da jumba tu sena maluba pomsa bares jimi mutun shu di shere tong ge sena ye kundun zeba sewa zangdo mazes da jimi paru de shina kanda kur sena pomne sena pomba zangdo maze sena jumba zangdo maze duba tanji jen la tong yu samba din hintaba na gong gores jimba tang gongba che gores seni ge kundu zemba sewa zang to mazes sena mutun shu sena jimbi mutun shu sena de jumba zang to maze duba tanji jen la tang yu samba hintaba na che gores teme da jumba la de yu mares te shangchu senpa tu sanjil ma tu yomares che guso te la jenpa yonsu zon yu nyemi tang yu pen gong gobe te da joba shawos jenpa tong yu pen jenpa ma tong nyemi san ma tang na ane jenpa tang al gaba yongores joba shawo ane dawa drama do yinro roa jubi leji de danse roa jubi leji dawa de no roba namares sujan yuwa mejin sujan yuwa omejins su njili al nga su rangayo maruda malang tabare, juma dabares, zumbares, dawa, sheba dada chabe nas, tetabe su na luton su yuwa matabadala, ane sheba su jugu chaba jigu wares, chabe na, shindu marun, leshede, shindu marun leshede, ude chaba jiba shindu marun bi le sabares, Dibi ondo sonwadan, meki cheda yunbe sons, ne dibi ondo sonwa, diba ondo, lunga yezon, dibi ondo sonwa, ne meki cheda yunba son, cheda ke yunba, ne meki batuzo cheda ke yunba namres, cheda ke ta namres. Jumbe son. Tada meze sentient dos. Tede seba meba nyewa le jagde sentient nyewa sentient do. She le matang watang. she le mazama su rezaji chudar yuwa dans rezaji chudar yuwa bodin chudar la uruda yuwa dans le su nyika leji le inanda su inanda leji jawant joba res leji jawant joba dunga de bare druda mata nyebi ten shetan juan shen dunga is dunga wa ne mata ba dan le nyeji jawant jen res leji jawant jen yimbe rawan yu da me ba dan so rawan du da me ba res da me ba ide ne tende invasions and digrota da me ba dans malanda example malanda jomata jumba tayu ne tene tela chaba ga gudes le dans sous le chaba ga gures ga gude tema chaba maluna chabi on de son de nishu Chenmo nam sa ne nganun roa sumba dans
Leso.
chabi on ngasun res
Leso.
good taiba drubi zon le jans den haja pijin haja man roa senjen ganda kaji zunjuwas senjen ganda kaji zunjuwa tene Jeta yonsu zimbade, tete kanla seba joa bon. Seba bomba shena, zonsun joro shedans, ta zonku de wat dran jison de manroa. Shedan, shatu legends, detara daki le dansen, keji re roa nis, le dans centre keji jino gores mata bares roani kede mata de poba le jitaji tremeje chanchu toba jonane tene rinche nye mina shedans ta tene mata lomba mudo ta ina kaleta mate lo na marba.
Okay. So, just going to go back to the top and read. How to begin the development of generosity. Simply destroying all stinginess in regard to your body and resources is not the perfection of generosity, for stinginess is included within attachment, and so even the two kinds of Hinayana arhats have totally eliminated it along with its seeds. What is required then is that you not only clear away stinginess' tight-fistedness, which prevents giving things away, but also that you develop from the depths of your heart the intention to give away to others all of your possessions. For this you have to meditate on the faults of holding on to things and the benefits of giving them away. I shall therefore discuss these. The Moon Lamp Sutra says, "These childish people are attached to this rotting body and to this rushing life force, both of which lack independence and are like a dream or a magician's illusion." So here, childish people are referring to ordinary beings, those beings who have not seen emptiness yet, ordinary beings. So that's what that means. And it says they're attached to this body, and it says rotting body and this life force, both the lack of independence. Why do they lack independence? They lack independence because they dependently originate. So these unintelligent beings do terrible things, fall under the control of sin, and carried away by the chariot of death's lord, proceed to unbearable hells. This says that you should stop attachment by viewing the body as unclean, life as rushing like a mountain cascade. Both body and life are as devoid as an independent self because they are under the control of karma, and both are false like a dream or a magician's illusion. Furthermore, if you do not stop attachment, you will become dominated by it, work up great wrongdoing, and proceed to miserable realms. Consider that the formula that accomplishes limitless methods. This is a tantric text. As to the living beings who dispute with others, it is tight-fistedness that is the root cause. So renounce that which you crave. After you give up craving, the formula will work. And then the Compendium of Training says, Sangha text, my body and mind move one moment by moment. If, with this impermanent body dripping with filth, I attain enlightenment, which is permanent and pure, will I not have attained what is priceless? So just more support. Rinpoche said there's many quotes. Rinpoche just read them and said they support the material that Lama Tsongkhapa is presenting, and we'll end there today. So. So we'll end there. If anybody has a question, you're welcome to ask, or we'll do the concluding prayers. Okay. We have time for 2 or so. I have to go right at the time ends, so.
I just had a quick question. You mentioned the 5 mental factors.
Omnipresent mental factors.
What are those again?
Feeling, discrimination, intention, contact, and mental engagement. Feeling, discrimination, intention, contact, and mental engagement.
Does the fact that the 6 perfections arise in a fixed order mean that they should be practiced in that order, or does it make sense more to practice
Nyamlen, the Tambo, Jimba, Nipa, Tsuchim, the Nyamlen, the Ngatsu, Sususu Nyamlen, the Tambo Ngatsu, the Jimba, Yapu, Shina, Dene Ngatsu Tsuchim Lojung She, Dene Ngatsu, the Kanga Lojung She, Lapjagu. Nyamdu Kanga, the Tambo Nipa Sumba. Kanga. So if you're able to practice all of them, that's best. But they do arise in that order. So you would be practicing all of them, and then focus point would be on where you're at specifically to start that cause and effect. Okay. Concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer. And thank you, everybody, for a wonderful class. And so grateful Rinpoche continues to teach us this information that is so difficult to find anywhere in the world, and we have it right here every Sunday. So, concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer. The fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure realm. I dedicate whatever virtues I have collected for the benefit of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drapa to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri, and likewise Samantabhadra as well. With whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traverse the 3 times, I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. In that pure land surrounded by snowy mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness, all-powerful. Ukteshvara Tenzin Gyatso may stay until samsara's end. I pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wandak, upholder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, spiritual friend who trained extensively in the 5 great philosophical texts with exceptional wisdom and perseverance. Tuji Rinpoche Gutsi Shapi Denonang Ngatsu Laran Chamukanga Chirona. Thank you again, everyone.